بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفيديو ده بيتكلم على multiple choice questions related to semiconductors. أول سؤال بيقول to obtain B-type crystal. أنا عايز B-type crystal. أعمل إيه؟ Inserting impurity of divalent atom in pure semiconductor crystal. لأ. Inserting impurity of trivalent atom. أنا عايز B type. يبقى inserting impurity of trivalent atom in pure semiconductor. يبقى هي دي الإجابة الصح. أو inserting impurity of tetravalent atom in pure semiconductor. دي to inserting impurity of pentavalent atom in pure semiconductor crystal. يبقى to obtain B type crystal, inserting impurity atom of trivalent atom in pure semiconductor crystal. In N-type crystal, majority charge carriers are. In N-type crystal, majority charge carriers are positive ions ولا negative ions ولا electrons ولا holes. دي N-type crystal. يبقى majority charge carriers are electrons. In B-type crystal, number of doped atoms equal concentration of holes. دي B-type crystal. ولا number of doped atoms less than concentration of holes ولا number of doped atoms more than concentration of holes ولا no relation. لا. في ال N-type crystal number of doped atoms equal concentration of. طيب the silicon crystal is doped with aluminum atoms at concentration 10 to the power 13 centimeter cube. دي الكونسنتريشن اوف doped atoms اللي هي هتبقى ده aluminum يعني trivalent، يعني عندي B type crystal. يبقى دي equal the concentration of holes. طيب calculate the concentration of free electrons in the pure silicon crystal, knowing that the concentration of free electrons in doped crystal is 10 to the power 11 centimeter cube. دي التشويسز اللي عندي. طيب يبقى في عندي ايه؟ في عندي قانون بيقول ان ال N اللي هي concentration of free electrons بتساوي Ni square اللي هي البرودكت of concentration of free electrons and holes in pure semiconductor square divided by Na اللي هي النيجاتيف acceptor ions اللي هي equal the concentration of doped atoms in trivalent element. تبقى ال Ni square بتساوي Na multiply by N. طيب ال Na اللي هي النيجاتيف acceptor negative ions. ال Na acceptor negative ions اللي هي بتساوي concentration of doped atoms اللي هي هنا الالومنيوم اللي هي 10 to the power 13 multiplied by N اللي هي concentration of free electrons. دي Ni square اللي هي concentration of free electrons. هنا عندي knowing that the concentration of free electrons in the doped crystal is 10 to the power 11. يبقى هي دي concentration of free electrons in the doped crystal اللي هي 10 to the power 11. يبقى أنا عندي concentration of doped atoms اللي هي concentration of negative acceptor ions 10 to the power 13 اللي هي concentration of doped impurities اللي هي الألومنيوم type times the concentration of free electrons in the doped crystal is 10 to the power 11. يبقى concentration of يبقى product of concentration of free electrons and holes in pure semiconductor square is 10 to the power 24. يبقى NI اللي هي البرودكت بتاع concentration of free electrons and holes equal the root of 10 to the power 24 اللي هي 10 to the power 12 per centimeter cube. يبقى الإجابة 10 to the power 12 per centimeter cube. If the electrons of holes concentration in pure silicon electrons or holes concentration in pure silicon 1 times 10 to the power 10 per centimeter cube يبقى دي ال Ni and the phosphorus is added. The phosphorus ده pentavalent is added with concentration 1 times 10 to the power 12 centimeter cube. Calculate the concentration of electrons and holes in such case given that phosphorus is pentavalent. The number of electrons N equal the concentration of positive donor ions اللي هي concentration of phosphorus is added in concentration of 1 times 10 to the power 12 اللي هي 10 to the power 12 per centimeter cube. يبقى concentration of holes equal Ni square divided by N. Ni square اللي هي concentration of electrons and holes in pure semiconductor. Okay. If electrons or holes concentration in pure semiconductor is 1 times 10 to the power 10 اللي هي دي 1 times 10 to the power 10 square divided by the concentration of free electrons اللي هي 1 times 10 to the power 12 يبقى concentration of holes equal 1 times 10 to the power 8 per centimeter cube. عايز ايه تاني؟ عايز the aluminum concentration required to be added to make the electrons concentration equal the holes concentration. فاحنا عايزين نحسب الألمنيوم. هنا عندي concentration of holes 1 times 10 to the power 8 والconcentration of free electrons 1 times 10 to the power 12. يبقى احنا عايزين نطرح الاثنين دول مع بعض. يبقى إذا الألمنيوم added هيساوي concentration of positive donor ions اللي هي concentration of electrons minus concentration of holes. Concentration of positive donor ions is 1 times 10 to the power 8 their concentration of holes minus their concentration of free electrons 1 times 10 to the power 12 اهي concentration of free electrons their concentration of positive donor ions اهي طيب minus concentration of holes اللي هي 1 times 10 to the power 8 يبقى دي 1 times 10 to the power 8 يبقى 9.99 times 10 to the power 11 centimeter cube.